तर लक्षात ठेवा, द करंट कमिंग टुवर्ड्स द जंक्शन, the current coming towards the junction are always taken as a positive. First sign convention. First sign convention. Current coming towards the junction are always taken as a positive. Positive. Current याला जंक्शन होतो प्लस व्हावा. म्हणजे या ठिकाणी पॉझिटिव्ह करंट कमिंग टुवर्ड्स द जंक्शन आर ऑलवेज टेकन एज अ पॉझिटिव्ह. दॅट इज द फर्स्ट साइन कन्व्हेन्शन. And current leaving from the junction are always taken as a negative. First sign convention, current coming towards the junction are always taken as a positive. Current coming towards the junction. Current coming towards the junction. Current coming towards the junction is always taken as a positive. Is taken as a positive. But current coming towards the junction are taken as a positive. जंक्शन कडे येणारा जो करंट असते तो हमेशा पॉझिटिव्ह घेतला जातो. करंट कमिंग टुवर्ड्स द जंक्शन is taken as a positive. That is the first sign convention. Second sign convention. Current leaving from the junction is always taken as a negative. Current leaving from the junction. Current leaving from the junction is always taken as the negative. Is always taken as a negative. Current coming towards the junction is always taken as a positive.